Hey everyone, Shannon here from the Pigeon Letters Design Team. Today we're going to draw a pen and ink mountain and then add a simple watercolor sky behind it. The mountains that we'll be drawing today come straight from Peggy's Guide to Nature Drawing and Watercolor. As I was flipping through it, looking for some inspiration, I saw these mountains and I figured why not draw them and add some color, but in a way that it doesn't distract from the simplicity of the mountains. Here's a look at all the supplies that you'll need to follow along. I'm going to start with my paper taped down and then I'm going in and lightly sketching the top of the mountains. Think of it as one continuous line from one edge of the paper to the other with a few peaks and valleys along the way. Then I'm going to use a larger sized monoline pen to draw in the lines that I just sketched. Usually when I'm drawing mountains, I skip the sketching and just draw the line with my pen. For some reason, I tend to end up with a much better line, and I think it's because when you take away the option of erasing and trying to make a line perfect, you end up creating a bit easier. Next, you're going to draw a zigzag line, starting at the peak of each mountain and ending at the bottom of the page. On the shadow side, you're going to draw some long diagonal jagged lines that start at the zigzag line and are parallel to the slope of the line at the top. On the other side of the zigzag line, draw some shorter dotted or dashed lines. When you're happy with your mountains, use a smaller monoline pen to add short thin lines on the shadow sides of the mountains. The next step is completely optional, but I just love the contrast that the line variation creates. So you can use a black brush pen to go back in and add a few thicker lines on the shadow side of the mountain if you'd like. Using a paintbrush, you're going to paint in the sky with a dark blue color. I'm using a mixture of indigo and ultramarine blue from Magello Mission Gold watercolors, but you can use any shade of dark blue that you like. And then use the tip of your brush or a much smaller brush to carefully paint along the edge of the mountains, making sure that you don't get any color on the inside of the mountains. If you do happen to get paint inside the white part of the mountains, you can use a white paint pen or some acrylic to cover those areas. Once your sky is dry, you can then use some white paint or ink to splatter some stars across the sky. If you're using paint, then you can place a piece of scrap paper to cover your mountains so that you don't get any splatters on them. For larger splatters, simply tap your paintbrush along the handle as you move over the paper. And for finer splatters, you can drag the tip of your paintbrush along a pencil or the handle of another paintbrush. To complete the sky, I'm going to add in a big bright moon. So draw a small circle in pencil using either a circle object, or if you have a circle ruler, that can work as well. And just remember that the moon should be on the opposite side of the shadows on your mountain. Then you're going to use a metallic medium of your choice. I'm using gold acrylic, but gel pens and watercolors work as well. Once you finish, you can then remove the tape, and that's it. But I went back in with a white paint pen to draw in a few more stars, but my pen was not cooperating. So I'm sure if you decide to do this, your stars will end up looking a lot better than how mine turned out. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end of this video. Every month you can join me right here and on the Pigeon Letters blog for a brand new tutorial.